House Speaker Mike Johnson, and listen in.
Years, but I think that we do well to hold fast to those principles. I'm reminded of what Ronald Reagan said in his farewell address. He said, "They call me the great communicator, but I really wasn't." I paraphrase him, but he said, I was basically communicating the same great things that have guided our nation since its founding. It was about the message, not the messenger," he said. And those same great things we are now the stewards of, and I think we abandon them at our peril. So we're fusing these new ideas, the new emphasis, into the tested and tried and true principles, and I think that will serve us well in the days ahead.
You talk about the idea of free markets being so vital to your coalition, but I think Trump really shattered the norm on free markets, right, with his approach to tariffs on China in the first term. And as we look ahead to a potential Trump 2 term, the president is now campaigning on 10% across the board tariffs. That's not something traditional economic conservatives would have supported. It is something the new populists are supporting. Is it something that you are supporting?
I believe there's a role to play for that, and I think we'll have some very thoughtful discussion, a vigorous debate about exactly when that can be applied and how it should be. You can't argue with President Trump's approach. I mean, look, I'll say this. After the first 2 years of the first Trump administration, I came to Washington the same time he did for the first time, January 2017. And everyone in this room knows we had achieved the greatest economy in the history of the world, not just the United States. I mean, we had every demographic was doing better, the economy was roaring, and we did that because we applied those tried and true ideas under Trump's leadership. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, we reduced taxes, we reduced regulations dramatically, and that unleashed the free market, it unleashed the free enterprise system. We effectively tried, and I think achieved, getting the government off the backs of job creators, entrepreneurs, risk takers, so that they could do what they do best, and everybody was doing better. This new team in charge reflexively did almost exactly the opposite, and I think it's not a mystery of how we get back to prosperity. We implement those same plans and principles again.
What you just said, though, does not sound like a ringing endorsement of 10% across the board tariffs. I mean, the idea that we'll talk about it, we'll have a discussion, that doesn't mean, yes, sir, I'm going to salute and march and execute that on Capitol Hill.
Well, look, I don't know that we know all the details of all the ideas yet, but I'm open to those discussions. But as the Speaker of the House and the leader of my party and the Congress, I'm going to be very careful about what I commit to on the front end. But listen, it is a thoughtful debate. We're in interesting times. We're in unprecedented times in many ways, and I think we need to adapt to that.
One of the things voters seem to be saying, screaming out loud, is that inflation is an enormous problem for them. The economy is, by almost every measure, an incredible economy. Inflation has been the sticking point. That's the thing that voters seem to be screaming about the most. One of the criticisms of the Trump economic agenda is that it is inflationary. You do the 10% across the board tariffs, particularly on immigration. If you deport millions of people who are currently employed, that's going to be inflationary. How do you deal with inflationary pressures and a populist economic agenda at the same time if there is a Trump 2 in 25 and you're the guy executing on Capitol Hill?
Well, we make those plans methodically and we carefully implement them, and I think you've got to be careful. I've spoken with President Trump about the deportation necessity. I mean, I think that's right. By our estimates, maybe as many as 16 million illegals have come across that open border since Joe Biden took office. But the reality is, deporting them all is not a simple thing. I'm not even sure you could locate many of them. I mean, that's part of the problem.
How do you practically do that?
Well, that's
the size of the police force that you'd have to do that would be enormous. The cost of that would be enormous. The logistics of that would be enormous. The legal fight around it would be epic.
It would, and the point is, so the theory in this is probably different than the actual application of it, and that's what we'll have to sift through. Look, I think this is doing untold damage to the country. It's catastrophic what the open border has done to us, and I don't need to recount all the parade of horribles with this group because you know it. But we're going to be dealing with this for decades to come, and it is a nation-changing, nation-shifting kind of problem, and we'll have to deal with it and develop responses as we go.